Good morning. Let's have a look at yesterday. Starting to get busier on the coupons, starting to get familiar names, starting to get more trades. So that's the way we want it. We work our way down. I did suggest to you to get out of the draw. We did lay the draw second half because Union St Gilwell's stats were so strong. But this is the first match of the season. They're away to a newly promoted side who, of course, are going to try to leave a good impression, which indeed they did, and which indeed Beerschot did, a couple of 0-0s. So, I don't know, you're vulnerable if you're laying the draw in the opening match of the season or laying the 0-0 in the opening match of the season, having not had any prior form to work off and knowing, not knowing the newly promoted sides, Dender and Beerschot's strengths and weaknesses. The Czech One League is well worth following. Simple tasks for the Prague sides. They're going to be very good trading sides this season. 0-0 at half-time. I think with a degree of confidence you could have taken that on. Laid that draw second half. Hopefully Sparta Prague score first. And you cash out. 47 minutes. You only had 2 minutes to wait in the second half for that particular match. And against CSKA Budějovice, well, second minute goal for Slavia Prague. Those are the two main characters in the Czech One League. They will be providing you with some decent trades throughout the season. Nordland and Midtjylland, very good match this, very competitive, but no real trading angles for me. Again, opening match or thereabouts of the season. Nordland inserted as favourite, which I thought was a bit strange in the based on last season's research. Well, Ant-Man was playing as well. So they got a superhero from the Marvel universe playing for them, Nordland. That's probably why they did a good job there, 2-2. No real angle for me. Watching brief, as they say. B93 thoroughly deserved the win against Roskilde. If you had an in-play stats feed, I was a little, it came in the 40th minute, but thoroughly deserved if you looked at the in-play stats. B93 were the dominant side throughout there. HJK Helsinki, easy as you like. I was expecting 2 goals from them today, or yesterday against Oulu, which indeed is what we got. That was a real pity. I was all ready and waiting to lay that draw second half at 0-0 at half time because I was expecting 2+ goals, as the research suggested. This was a humdinger. SJK 1.28 favourites against Lahti. Did Lahti take a lead? Well, they did. They took a 3-4 lead. So you could have taken them on at that 3-4 lead with half an hour to go against a 1.28 favourite at home. Did you lay that very, very late draw? Wow. I think this game passed me by because I don't remember seeing that 5-5 scoreline. Wow. So a couple of plays in if you trusted SJK throughout. 1.27 favourite at home. Nothing much doing for me in Ireland. Bodo Glimt did get a late winner, but that was scrubbed off. Alas, 90th minute disallowed goal. They are a side to follow, but I didn't see anything to suggest an equaliser yesterday in the in-play stats, but I should have just stick with my guns. They are one of the most reliable trading sides in the Norwegian Elite Serien by far. Polish Ekstraklasa is still early on in the season. It's only the first or second matches. Radomiak Radom, if you were following the in-play stats, they thoroughly deserved to make this 2-2. 2-0 down. In-play stats were impeccable. Rocker, well, the luck of a penalty, and then following up the 2-2. Desmond 2-2 as well, if you took that on yesterday. I'm a bit lukewarm with these matches so early in the season. Scottish League Cup, again, it's good competition to trade. Dunfermline did get a goal back to make it 1-2. I did take Cove Rangers on at 0-2. I think it was 0-1 we took them on. The in-play stats, you have to rely on them, and they were pointing in Dunfermline's direction, but they didn't pass muster there. Livingston and Spartans, if you laid the very late draw, well, it's a neutral play, and it went the way of Spartans, who were, well, they were Spartans absolutely bossed. Well, they didn't were bossed by Livingston throughout. I did even lay the Spartans late on, expecting a Livingston equaliser. So rampant were the Livingston stats there. The Allsvenskan. Malmo, well, if you follow the insurance, this is why I love the insurance, even though it was a mid-play, a mid-second half play. But it wasn't. It was just after the 51st minute. I thought it was a little later than that. If you lay over 1.5 goals, or if you take insurance out, this ensures you get a break even on your play. We actually went in to the Swedish Superettan yesterday with Östersund. Again, got to over-rely on in-play stats, particularly in such a poor league as this, but it was all one-way traffic, particularly the second half. Östersund thoroughly deserved that. And that was a decent enough return. I was confident enough in staying in because I only had really the insurance and a £4 loss on the draw in the hope of nailing that £67 profit. So job done there. That was more like it, wasn't it? It's, Superettan, very rarely visited, or very rare to have any confidence in it, but it delivered yesterday with Östersund, and it's, again, a reminder to you of the importance of in-play stats early on in the season. Didn't have any plays in the Super League. Again, still a watching brief. Sion, I think, are newly promoted. That will be an exciting 4-0 win for their home fans there. In the Olympic Games, I don't think we had any plays there yesterday. Some rather obvious winners in Spain and Argentina, but no real plays, I'm afraid. I couldn't get a handle on this yesterday. And just a mention of the Chelsea-Celtic match, just a reminder, friendlies can catch you with your pants down. I would always ordinarily take on any Scottish side against a Premier League side, but quite obviously there's been some huge changes second half. 2.1 the favourite, suggesting ordinarily in a competitive fixture it would be very strong odds on favourites Chelsea. Tennis-wise yesterday, not much going on. Looked like all of the favourites in the Olympics obliging quite comfortably, to be honest. Let's have a look at the Olympics. Let's see if we can find the Olympics. Alcaraz, Novak, Taylor Fritz, all the familiar names. Daniil Medvedev, all very strong favourites, all delivering quite easily. So looks like the Olympics is favouring the market, which is good news if the opponent wins the first set, of course. We've got some more familiar names today in the Olympics. Algo Elysium, Echeverry, Diminor, old Hitler haircut, playing Struff. That's going to be interesting. I don't think that Struff deserves really his favouritism here. So I think this could be a 3-setter. I think Struff could be liable if leading. Draper looks a little bit too short for me against Kai Nishikori. Yes, he's a Darren Anderton sick note, old Kai. Lots of injuries, but he's still a class act. And I think Jack Draper, he's very young in his career. Just hope he doesn't get overwhelmed mentally here. Danny Evans, another Brit. Chris Eubank is back playing Hassan. It's on clay. Don't know much about that. Rafa Nadal on clay might be a bit of value. Playing for Spain. Casper Ruud, Stefanos Tsitsipas, lots of familiar names. I would treat this as I would treat a Grand Slam event. I think they're all going to be giving everything. Simple as that. Watch out for this Milos Raonic serve. I think he could be a little bit of value today. He is on the comeback trail, but that serve has not left him. It is devastating when it clicks into gear. He's very, very hard to break. Musetti is another real standout this season. Well worth your attention. Against Gael Monfils, yes, he's a Frenchman in France. But I think that Musetti's class will see him through. Baez and Montero, two South Americans playing on clay, would be a three-setter. Cameron Norrie, again, so lots of familiar names for the men's game, probably for the ladies as well. But we've got hard court tennis as well, which is good. But you're likely to get all of the big boys and big girls in Paris at the moment. I will be following this just with one eye on the likes of Maria Sakkari, my future ex-wife. These short odds got to be laid. I hope you're getting into that habit. Lay anything 1.05 or lower. Ostapenko looks good. I will just keep an eye on this, I think, throughout the day. My main focus will be on the football today, which we'll have a quick look at now. So let's have a look at the researched matches. Well, not much research because it's the opening day of the season. Genk and Standard Liège, 6th against 10th from last season. Very, very tight head-to-heads last season, 1-0 scorelines. 2 of their 3 home defeats for Genk were 1-0. Does suggest that they will feel a lot more confident at home. Standard were very poor at home. Failed to beat. Very poor away. Failed to beat a top 11 side. Yes, it's a bit of a leap to trust that the last season's form will carry on through to this, but this gives you a foundation to work off. 15th against 7th from last season. 4 home wins came against 4th, 5th, 13th and 16th for Kortrijk. Playing 7th today. 0-2 home loss and a 3-2 away loss for Kortrijk. So Ghent scored 2 goals in the 2 head-to-heads last season. No wonder they're strong favourites, the 2 GEN sides in Belgium. Charleroi and Royal Antwerp, 13th against 3rd. 3-2 home win and a 4-1 away defeat. So the head-to-heads, 1 each. Antwerp were quite poor away last season, so they need to improve upon that. Only 3 wins against the top 14. Westerlo and Cercle Brugge, 11th against 5th. 4-2 home win and a 2-1 away loss. Are we going to see both teams to score again? And one team score at least 2 goals. We will see. Danish Super League, Randers against Viborg. High scoring openers for these. Randers beat Vejle 2-3, seeing a goal before half time. Goals galore is the expectation there. Again, 2.37 the favourite. We'll give that a miss. Copenhagen have been excellent. They're starting off the season with a very comfortable 0-2 win against Lyngby. I think they're involved in European club competition as well, Copenhagen. AGF Aarhus will take some confidence out of a 1-1 draw against high flyers Midtjylland. But I do expect Copenhagen to continue their excellent start to the season. In the Finnish Veikkausliiga, both teams to score in this Gnisten Häcken match. Gnisten newly promoted. Häcken are unbeaten in 7 at home. So good luck to Gnisten there. I think you'd have to favour Häcken on that basis. EIK are playing KUPS, who are involved in European club competition at the moment. I wonder if that will distract them against this newly promoted EIF side, who've only had 3 wins and are playing a KUPS with only 3 defeats. I don't expect a 3rd consecutive away defeat for KUPS. This sudden run of poor results, I think, is down to European football distraction. A side like KUPS are very rarely going to be involved in Europe. They're not going to let that opportunity go. VPS against Mariehamn. No win in 6 for the 1.55 favourites. That suggests that the market really does not like Mariehamn, does it? They're scoring 2 or 3 goals, VPS, against 7th and lower. They're playing 9th today, so that could be the reason for the warm order in the odds. Norwegian Elite Serien. Lillestrøm are playing Sarpsborg, 1.75 favourites. Lillestrøm, 2 consecutive home wins, 7 consecutive over 2.5 goal matches for your neutral players. And this season, I'm going to be looking at both teams to score and over 2.5 goals, see if we can get a trading idea working there. It might have something to do with a staking plan, I think, if you're going to do over 2.5 goals. What I would expect with over 2.5 goals would be to look for a goal before half time to get the odds moving. But Lillestrøm and Sarpsborg, both teams to score. There's a gap in form for Lillestrøm, which I don't like. They've not played 11th or lower at home, and they're playing 14th today, so we don't know much about that. Standerfield and Haugesund. Haugesund are favoured on their win record against the bottom two. 2-1 wins against the bottom two. They're playing bottom two, of course, today. Tromsø and Kristiansund, 12th against 10th. So I'll just sort that out. 3 consecutive home defeats for Tromsø could be something to target today to end. At least that's what the market suggests. Tromsø's home form is poor for a 1.5 favourite. Are they strong favourite because Kristiansund keep conceding 2 goals away from home? They conceded 2 goals in all bar one match away against top 13 Kristiansund. In the Polish Ekstraklasa, again, I can't give you much at the moment. 8th from last season against 4th from last season. 3-0 home win for Pogoń against Corona in their opener, which is pretty good for them. 1 first half goal. Kulurusis scoring 2 goals. He might be one to follow the goal scorer. Piasklevici against Slas Wrocław. Again, I can't offer you much, but just to note that Slas Wrocław was second last season. I'll give that one a miss. Corona and Legia. Didn't get round to that. Elfsborg and Djurgården. 2.37 the favourite, and Elfsborg and Djurgården. I think both involved in European club competition, so a bit messy. A watching brief there. Häcken strong favourites against Västerås today, 16th in the league. That's why. Both teams have scored in the last 7 for Häcken, so we might see Västerås scoring, but certainly if they score first, they are gettable, a bit like the Östersunds match yesterday. But as I say, the in-play stats are going to be key in all of these fixtures today. So regardless of what I say in the form lines, it's what happens in play that is key. Hammarby against Mjällby, Laney late draw. That's a nice neutral play there. Zurich against Winterthur, 1.5 favourites. Zurich, 6th from last season against newly promoted Winterthur. Again, you saw what Dender and Beerschot did in Belgium yesterday in their opening match of the season. Why do I mention them? They're also newly promoted like Winterthur. So we might get a surprise for Winterthur. We might get an overly defensive setup, which could bring that 3rd consecutive 0-0 for a newly promoted side from Poland or Switzerland. So a good day today. It's going to get even busier, of course, once August arrives. 5 days' time. 6 days' time. Well, nearly a week, and we'll be up with the first set of matches of interest. Scotland, Belgium, Coppa Italia, FA Cup, good stuff. I like it like this. Lots of familiar names, a little bit more confidence. We've got to check one league as well. Watch out for Poulsen today against Hradec Králové. Another familiar name. Don't think they're as reliable as the 2 Prague sides, but they're well worth following. I'm just going to work through and see if there's any peripheral leagues that we haven't researched, but we might want to have a look at. As a giant insect lands on my laptop, and in Asia, these giant insects are scary. So hopefully he's not going to notice me. Norwegian Elite Serien, as I say. Friendlies again, it's up to you if you play or not. But as I keep warning you, if you're going to play friendlies, make sure that you keep your liability as low as possible. Scottish League Cup. Motherwell against Partick Thistle at 3 o'clock. It's been a good competition, the Scottish League Cup. Really enjoyed it. Very good trading competition. Super Etton, in-play stats. If they're anything like Östersund yesterday, we might get ourselves a trade. Östersunds were absolutely standout yesterday. Really good side. And the insect is left, thankfully. So we're going to have a quick look at the friendlies. These are all early friendlies because they're being played in America. So you get all of the familiar names. So we've got, again, a lot of German sides are heading off to Japan at the moment. Dortmund, Stuttgart, and a few of the other Brit sides are in Japan as well. Tottenham are there as well. pre-season, so they must be targeting, of course, the Japanese market. Bayern Munich are playing Düren. 1.01 for Bayern Munich. I wonder if Harry Kane will be back up front. Got to be laid at 1.01 in a friendly. Porto playing Al Nassr. Benfica been pretty good in friendlies. So I'll see you Telegrammers. Again, I'll be starting with the Olympic tennis, probably 11 or midday, and then just working my way through. Hopefully pick up an Ostersunds like trade, that's more like it, isn't it? Extremely confident play, that one yesterday. Very nice profit. And as I say, it's up to you. Once you get the 1-1, you can either cash out or you can take the hit, hoping for the win. In-play stats, of course, will tell you which way to focus there. Have a great day, and Telegrammers, I'll see you throughout the day, starting with the Olympic tennis and moving on throughout.